It is another stormy night across much of central and eastern Kentucky. Now we track an even bigger storm. That's just ahead.
For hours, many people in the bluegrass couldn't use their cell phones today. Tonight, we've learned what caused a major outage.
How a dog attack that left a woman with serious injuries could lead to some changes in an ordinance in one central Kentucky county.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good evening. Storms bringing heavy rain and strong winds to much of the bluegrass again tonight, and it is a sign, unfortunately, of what's to come.
The flash flood threat is increasing across parts of Kentucky. For the very latest, we begin with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. He shows us what he is tracking right now for us. Chris?
Yeah, guys, a lot of the storms that we've been seeing on and off for the better part of the day now beginning to dry up a little bit across central and eastern Kentucky. That's a little good news. Bad news. Some of the rains are still falling on areas that picked up a whole lot of flooding last night, and for that reason, new flash flood warnings are out for parts of eastern Kentucky. We look at Defender now, and compared to what we were seeing just 30 minutes ago or an hour ago, this is a much better view. However, if you're watching us in some of those hard-hit areas of especially Bath County into Montgomery County, where you picked up 5 inches of rain last night, you've got a new flash flood warning that has been issued for several counties here. That is parts of Bath, Menifee, Montgomery, Morgan, and Rowan counties. It does include West Liberty, Frenchburg, Owingsville, Mount Sterling, Moorhead not included in this, and it's more of a precautionary measure now because it won't take very much rain at all to send some of those creeks and streams out of their banks. Haven't had any reports of flooding as of yet. And the overall trend with the showers and storms that I'm seeing along and south of 64 here is a diminishing trend, but still look at the heavy downpours. Mount Sterling, Jeffersonville, over toward Owingsville, into Winchester. Rains are beginning to dry up a little bit across the Lexington metro. One little cluster of some rumbles of thunder here north of Whitley City into McCreary County. But overall, the trend over the next few hours will be for skies to dry up a little bit. That's not going to last very long, though. Potent area of low pressure back to our west is going to make a beeline toward the bluegrass state as we go through the next few days. Guys, that's going to increase our rounds of thunderstorms, heavy rainfall, and an increase in the flash flood threat. And for that reason already, flash flood watch is out for much of the region as we go into Wednesday night, Thursday, and Thursday night.
Storms did cause damage in parts of Kentucky tonight. In Pulaski County, the emergency manager reports an outbuilding was damaged in the Trimble community. He also says a roof was blown off a barn and a door was blown off a home. We found some trees down in the Somerset area. People who live there say it was a frightening storm.
A lot of lightning, thunder was very loud, the rain was, it was just, everything filled up. You know, we've been saturated with heavy rains for the past month, and today was no different. It was here before we knew it and gone the same way, you know.
No injuries were reported because of the storms in Pulaski County. Tonight, AT&T customers are able to make and receive calls and text messages on their cell phones again, but for hours, a major phone outage in the southeast kept those phones silent.
Most of those affected in the Lexington area were AT&T customers, but elsewhere, other carriers were affected as well. Thousands of customers in multiple cities were without service for part of today. So what caused the problem? Garrett Weimer has our top story at 11.
It didn't take long for things to get testy.
No service for about 2 hours now.
It would only get worse.
I was pretty aggravated a moment ago.
An AT&T spokesperson says engineers found a hardware-related problem that took out cellular and landline services. Kentucky Emergency Management says a fiber line was cut in western Kentucky near the Tennessee border.
You can't call nobody. I tried it.
Down detector also showed reports of other carriers, including Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint, experiencing outages in some parts of the state.
Okay, so when I walked in, there was a slew of people. Everybody has the same problem. No service.
The outage brought a lot of customers with questions to AT&T stores across the city and no doubt across the state.
I feel sorry for the girl working the door.
And I told my husband, I'm coming up here because, well, I've got heart problems and I need my phone working.
And folks weren't just flocking to the stores searching for answers. AT&T's Twitter was inundated. They told customers they were, quote, working toward a solution.
Need my phone. Need to communicate.
Service started to return shortly after 7:30, but for several hours, the quiet caused some chaos.
Technology's big. I mean, it goes out and it just disrupts everything.
Oh, we're helpless these days. I don't know what'll happen if we ever lose all this stuff and go back like it used to be.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
The outage seemed to be centered mainly in Kentucky and Tennessee, although there were also reports of outages in Indiana and Alabama. We're tracking a crime alert in Lexington tonight. Police are investigating a robbery at a hotel in the Hamburg area. Lexington police were called to the Sleep Inn on Plotted Place about an hour ago. Police say a woman walked in, showed a gun, and demanded money. They're still looking for her. Police have a limited description of the robber. They say she was wearing casual clothes and flip-flops. They say this robbery is similar to a robbery at a Comfort Inn off Winchester Road early this morning.
A brutal attack involving a pack of dogs could lead to some changes in Lincoln County. The county attorney tells us he wants to make the county's dog ordinance tougher. It comes a little more than a week after a woman was attacked by 7 dogs outside her home. New at 11, Monique Blair talks to the Lincoln County attorney about his proposal.
Right now, the Lincoln County dog ordinance basically requires people to keep their pets under control. But County Attorney Darrell Day says he is working on drafting some changes he hopes can be made to the current law.
We're going to require stronger kennels. We're going to, hopefully, the physical court will pass that we will have inspection powers over those kennels.
The changes would also include limiting the number of certain breeds of dogs citizens have, and in turn keeping track of who has those dogs.
A lot of it is based on large dogs. Obviously, the smaller the dog is that comes after you, the easier it is to defend it off.
This is the home here where 7 Presa Canarios were housed before they escaped from those kennels you see behind me and then attacked a woman here in Lincoln County. And it was because of that attack that prompted these changes to the law.
In this situation with the lady who got attacked, we never had any reports of those dogs biting anyone. But then when they come up on someone else that they don't recognize as their master, then suddenly we have these problems.
Day says one fear some people have is that he is going to try and outlaw certain breeds of dogs such as pit bulls or Presa Canarios. But he says for now that is not the case.
We are not going that step right now, although a lot of cities and some counties in Kentucky have. We're not outlawing those dogs. What we're saying is you can have them, but we have a duty to make sure that every citizen in the county is safe.
In Lincoln County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Day hopes to have the ordinance drafted in a way so it is ready for a vote by mid-September. It will have to pass 2 readings in fiscal court.
Tonight, police are trying to track down a Laurel County man now charged in connection to a crash that killed 6 people in Tennessee. A Hamilton County, Tennessee grand jury indicted 39-year-old Benjamin Brewer on 6 counts of vehicular homicide. Police say back in June, Brewer's tractor-trailer crashed into 8 cars on I-75 in Chattanooga. They say he was driving under the influence. Investigators say Brewer had been on duty for 50 hours in 3 days before that crash, and they say he tested positive for meth 6 weeks earlier.
A hearing will continue tomorrow in the case of a mother accused of killing her son by giving him too much vinegar. Lexington police charged Dia Adams with reckless homicide. Her son, Joseph Adams, died in 2011. He was just 5 years old at the time. He was born with an intestinal disease. The defense is trying to block the testimony from the medical examiner who performed Joseph's autopsy.
I believe his cause of death is, and I still hold to this, and it's metabolic acidosis with cellular necrosis of mucosal linings. What that is the death of the cells of the small bowel and portion of the large bowel due to forced ingestion of vinegar.
The medical examiner also testified that she found cuts and bruises on Joseph's body. She thinks that points to his mother forcing him to drink 2 or more doses of vinegar even after he started to fight back. The defense argues that vinegar did not cause the boy's death.
Kentucky Senator and presidential candidate Rand Paul made the cut for this week's Republican presidential debate. Fox News selected the 10 candidates for the debate it's organizing Thursday in Cleveland. Donald Trump, Jeb Bush, Scott Walker, Mike Huckabee, Ben Carson, Senator Ted Cruz, Senator Marco Rubio, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and Ohio Governor John Kasich were also selected. The remaining candidates will take part in another debate hours before the main event.
New tonight, Anheuser Busch has transferred its 2 distributors in Kentucky to another company. The brewer transferred its facilities in Louisville and Owensboro to Texas-based Standard Sales Company. In return, Standard Sales transferred 3 distributors outside Kentucky to Anheuser Busch. This comes after Kentucky lawmakers passed a new law banning brewers from owning distributors in order to protect smaller breweries.
The video is now receiving national attention. A young boy placed in handcuffs for acting out at a Kentucky school.
The ACLU is now suing the Kenton County School District and the Kenton County Sheriff. As Danielle Nottingham tells us, the ACLU also says the same thing happened to a second child. But first, a warning. You may find some of this video disturbing.
You can do what we've asked you to, or you can suffer the consequences.
A school administrator recorded Kenton County, Kentucky Sheriff's Deputy Kevin Sumner handcuffing this 8-year-old after he tried to leave the principal's office. The handcuffs were placed around the 52-pound boy's biceps because of his small size.
Now sit down in the chair like I've asked you to.
The mother of another child says Sumner also handcuffed her 9-year-old daughter at a different school at least twice. The ACLU says the children who have emotional issues suffered as a result of being cuffed.
According to their parents, they have had some continuing effects of it, some continuing trauma.
Sumner's attorney says the children were handcuffed because they were placing themselves and other people in danger.
If you want them off, you know what to do. Stop kicking.
The lawsuit seeks financial compensation for pain and emotional trauma. It also asks for a judge to ban the school from repeating the punishment and for deputies to have more training in dealing with children with disabilities. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
In a statement, the Kenton County Sheriff said he stands behind Sumner, who he called a highly respected and skilled law enforcement deputy. The sheriff says Sumner responded to the school's request for help.
New tonight, we have an update on a Jessamine County puppy found starving outside an apartment complex. Jessamine County Animal Care and Control says the puppy has gained 5 pounds since she was rescued last week, and this is a new picture of her. Animal Care and Control says she's doing much better tonight. The puppy has been released from the vet's office and is now in an animal shelter's care. Animal Care and Control says they still have not been able to find the dog's owner.
New tonight, an artist has given a Veterans of Foreign Wars post in Lexington a patriotic new look. Scott Lebedo painted a U.S. flag mural today on the side of the VFW Post 680 on Leestown Road. As part of his Flags Across America tour, he selected a VFW or American Legion post in every state to paint a U.S. flag mural for. And this is what he chose for Kentucky.
I just adore my freedom. It's that simple. I am an artist my whole life.
Well, he says no 2 murals are exactly alike. He says he paints the U.S. flag a little differently each time. Beautiful display. Thank him for stopping by and doing that.
Very impressive.